Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Money Coach Show with Loan and Key. This is Damien, your financial guru, here with Robert, the mortgage advisor. Tiara could not be able to make it this time. We're hoping that she's going to be able to make it on the next episode. So we have lots of good stuff to cover today. But I'm going to shoot this over to Robert because he's going to go ahead and start this off with the market report. So go ahead and take it away, Robert.
Hey there, Damien. Thank you for the intro. It's always amazing to be able to get on these calls with you. And again, yeah, Tara, as she's got back from vacation, she was kind of resting. And hey, that's no big deal. That's why you always have Damien and I. And one day soon, you'll see it's going to be just Damien and Tara because I'm going to be off on vacation or vice versa. Anyways, let me go ahead and get back to that market report because, again, that's one of the reasons why I think a lot of you guys join this call is because we like to give you guys as much access to the information that we have. So you're not having to go out there and search it up. You can Google a lot of things, but again, it's not going to be accurate. Come to us at Loan and Key. We're going to give you the most accurate information as possible. Things that we rely on, well, we're not relying on Google. We're relying on services that we actually pay for so they can give us the information possible. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and start to share my screen because, the market, not much has changed since last week. I'm going to go ahead and share what I have here. So just the past month here, they're staying stagnant. If, as you can see in the highlighted purple here that my cursor is over, this is the FHA average closing. You can see at 6.567, that was the average for all the closings of yesterday. So, today the market is active and, we can't give you what it is right now unless we actually have your credit score, their loan amount, your income, variable information like that. So this is why we give you the average because, again, we don't want to have our feet held to the fire of something we can't deliver, but we can deliver what the average was yesterday. And as you can see right below that, we have the VA. And a lot of the veterans out there, you have a little bit better, interest rate at the moment. It's a 6.39. That was the average of yesterday again. But again, VAs typically are the interest rate for a VA loan is a little bit more conducive for the pocketbook. So then if you go back up to the very top, as you can see for the conforming loans, with the less than 80% LTV, that means you put less than 20% down. You can see they're dancing with each other. It's at a 6.789 to a 6.821. And a lot of people have asked sometimes, how come that is? A few years ago, they put in regulations that said, hey, we got to make sure that it's equitable for people that, hey, sometimes bad credit happens. Sometimes there's a slip. It's happened to the best of us. I'm going to raise my hand because sometimes, oh, shoot, I forgot a payment. And that's volatile to your credit score. And this is why, everybody, right, Damien? So this is why it's volatile. Yeah. So again, here's a quick market update. And again, like we say, sorry.
Thank you, Robert. Sorry to cut you off, man.
Oh.
I just it was really good market update report. The rates are, folks, looking just like they were last week. So unfortunately, not a whole lot of a change on that. But Robert, always a stellar market report, like always. We are going to be covering in today's episode processor and underwriter roles. And Robert is going to go ahead and do a lot of the heavy lifting on this because these are two really important roles that I think most people have no idea how important a loan processor and a loan underwriter are in trying to purchase your home. So with that said, go ahead, Robert, take it away.
Thank you, Damien. And you know what? I'm going to try to talk a little bit slower so it's not so much information because I know I talk fast. I get energized. I get excited. I love talking mortgages, regardless, even if I'm part of the deal or not, just because it's my life. It's what I breathe, outside of obviously being a husband and father. But so yeah, thank you, Damien. The processor, there's 6 primary duties of a processor. That's going to be the application review, verification of information, communication, documentation, transparency. It's a big part of it. Preparing the file for an underwriter, problem solving. I'm going to give you I know I gave you 6 bullet points, but I'm going to break down each one of them for you a little bit more. So the application review. Okay, the processor will review the applications to ensure all the necessary documents have been submitted for completion. So making sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. Verification information. Okay, that is verifying, information provided by you, the borrower, including income, employment, credit history, and assets.
So, wait, quick question. So, like previous episodes, this sounds familiar. This sounds like when people have to put their bank statements and always provide pay stubs. Is that kind of like along those lines, Robert?
You are 100% correct, Damien. It's like you know this already.
Okay. No. I have no idea what you're saying.
No, I jest. But you're right. You're 100% right. Anytime if you're in the middle of if you've signed the application on, second, third week of the month, you know what? Once that new month calendar hits, the next month, we're going to want those updated documents, especially the bank statements, making sure that that's always up to date, because that will hinder the process of your loan. If you sit on that and then wonder, how come my loan isn't being processed? How come my loan isn't going through as fast as I wanted it to? There's going to be some diligence that's needed by you, because you're going to hear from us at Loan and Key. If you're going with us, we're going to contact you as much as possible. You're going to hear from us at least 3 to 4 times a week, even if it's just, a quality checkup. How are you doing today? It's like making sure that you're mentally okay. Even if there's times when, we get told, hey, I don't need a phone call. Okay, that's fine. But then we will absolutely contact you if it's that new calendar month. Hey, do you have these documents? Just prepare to get those ready. And the verification of employment, that usually lasts for 3 weeks. So making sure that your company that you work with is up to date, that you're going through this process. So we will gather information from them. It's usually a document we'll ask you to send to your HR. They'll fill it out. We'll get it back. So
all right. So that was application review, and then you just covered verification information. What's the third one? You said there's 6. So
yep, 2 more. So that's communication. Okay. The processor that acts as a liaison between the borrower, loan officer, and the underwriter. We're going to get into the underwriter in a few moments. And other parties involved in the loan process is providing updates and gathering additional documentation. And again, we'll go into a little bit more detail on what those other parties are in a later episode, because again, there's a lot of information we want to give you. We don't want you to be drinking from a fire hydrant every episode. So with that being said, there's documentation. Okay, processing ensures that all the required documents are completed with the lenders for that, they're completed for the guidelines with us, the lender, making sure, hey, all those P's and Q's are taken care of, making sure that, hey, you're a quality candidate. So again, it's all transparency. And then we have preparing the file for the underwriter. That's making sure that they've organized the preparing of these files for the underwriter, so they can see all the highlighted points. I have a great analogy for this. And it's my farmer side coming out. If you lie corn spaced out and strategically, like these files, you're going to have a great harvest. If you put corn in a pile, it's just going to get moldy and rotten, not going to be a good harvest. So we want to make sure that all those corn nuggets, all your documentation are in that file, processed in that nice, neat, orderly fashion. And that's that processor's job. So, and then with that being said, they also go into problem solving. So if there's any discrepancies, with inside of these documentations, they're going to make sure they're going to reach out to us, the loan officer. And this is where you may get that phone call from us that second or third time within the week that says, hey, there's this issue. You may have to, if you're getting money from a gift letter, we're going to need information about that. And we'll explain that to you when that time comes. So the
loan processor is kind of like teeing up the file, essentially, right? Like they're kind of just like getting everything ready for the loan underwriter. Then, am I understanding that correctly?
100%. And I love the golf reference too, because that's exactly what it is. It's teeing it up so that underwriter can put the ball there, and you, the borrower, the buyer, can launch that ball as far as possible with all the information you've provided to us. So with that being said, let me just go ahead and jump into the underwriting process. Again, there are 6 elements that the underwriter has to do too. That's going to do risk assessment, reviewing the loan application, evaluating property appraisals, okay, decision making, compliance, first and foremost. And the last part is communication. So I'll jump back to the top again, like I did with the processors. You know what? The first thing they're going to do is the risk assessment. So they evaluate each borrower, that makes sure, and if you've seen my shorts, I'm not shorts that I'm wearing, but the short videos I create on YouTube, there was one that's recently, and even a few of them, the ATR rule. That's the ability to repay. So they look at, your debt to income. The processor will look at that. The processor sometimes will say, maybe the underwriter will say this is too much, because what they'll do is they'll look at like your credit history, your credit worthiness, and making sure that that debt to income, the DTI, is palatable for the lender to be able to say, hey, we'll take on this loan. There doesn't seem to be any risk assessed with this borrower. And they will knock off one thing that they have to do. Reviewing the loan application. Again, that's making sure that the loan officer, first and foremost, this is part of checks and balances. Yes, everybody has them, and it's beneficial for us loan officers to be able to make sure we have these 2 other tripwires to make sure that that loan application is filled out correctly. All the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed again. So they thoroughly
it's realistically reviewed not once, but twice then.
I would even say 3 times, because us loan officers do it, the processors do it, and the underwriters put that seal of approval. Yes, this is a perfect application.
So I never knew it got reviewed that much.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. They get scrutinized, and and primarily there's a lot of laws that loan officers have to make sure that we uphold and we follow. And this is where the processor helps out, as well as that underwriter helps out. And you know what? At Loan and Key here, my partner Tarah, Damien, we all review these files before we submit them to a processor and underwriter. So in reality, it's getting 5 lookovers, and not to sit there and, have people's financial underwear, shown to everybody, but making sure that, hey, you know what, everything is lined up perfectly. And when Tarah gives me a file, I go over it literally that hour. I make room for it. I move things off my plate to make sure that that file gets reviewed. I'll pass it over to Damien. Damien, you do that same thing, right?
Yeah, no, I do review things quite often. It's just I knew the answer. I was just trying to.
No, 100%, because it's important. It's important. So then,
all right. So getting back to the underwriter roles.
So the last 4 things that they do are they do the evaluation of the appraisal. What they will do is the underwriter will assess the property appraisal to confirm that the property is valued at what it was appraised for. So making sure, hey, this is actually the home is valued at what the appraiser said. It's not some bloated, appraisal rate. So I'll talk about that later if you guys want to, put it down in the comments and we'll go over that, because that's no big issue. So the 3rd or the 4th thing, well, I should take it back that. Yeah, it's the 4th thing. So it's decision making. Yeah. So based on the underwriter's analysis, they're going to be able to make that decision to say, hey, you know what, it meets the ATR rule. If the DTI is beautiful, you know what, let's go ahead and send this off to the funding department so you can get the keys to your new home or get the loan you need for your refinance. And then again, once they do that, they'll tell that to the secondary department with inside the lender. But then they go through and make sure that everything is filed correctly for compliance. So they ensure that everything meets the compliance regulations. They literally have a checklist that they go through. And then lastly, the communication, making sure that we, the loan officer, have communicated every step possible with you, the borrower, making sure that that communication, when the processor made to reach out to a loan officer, that everything was made, because we like to keep notes, making sure that it's not a magic trick. Look at this while I'm doing this. We're trying to make sure that everyone is fully informed with what's happening with this loan process. Because again, I'm just going to be 100% with you and transparent. Everyone gets paid when a loan closes. You get the keys to your house, you get, the money you needed for that refinance. So everyone has to work in a symbiotic, as a synergy to making sure that this process is flown smoothly and as quickly as possible. So we want to make sure that we can provide that communication through all of us, because we're always talking, hey, did the Smiths do this right? Yep. Did the Jones do that right? Did, the Gutierrez's do this right? We're making sure that everyone is being, it's an open forum, but still with inside of business privacy, to making sure that I'm not going to go talk to, anybody that's not part of our team about your loan.
No,
So
and
I
that
hope,
makes, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I'm sure everybody knows the level of professionalism here at Loan and Key. But Robert, thank you for giving us an absolutely very thorough and still pretty quick kind of high level view of what a loan processor does and what a loan underwriter does. And
my pleasure, my pleasure.
thank you. Just want to tell everybody, thanks for tuning in. Like always, we always appreciate any comments, likes. Please, if you enjoy the content that you guys are watching, please feel free to like us, subscribe. Here at Loan and Key, we welcome the conversation. By all means, we welcome the conversation.
As you can
And
tell,
with
I
that,
talk fast because I love to talk. That's what my wife says. But hey, it works, And again, I repeat this all the time to people, that are going through this process. The only dumb question is the one not asked.
here, 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 here. With that, this is the financial guru and Robert, the mortgage advisor, signing off.
Take care, everybody.